Welcome to Season 2, Episode 1, Christ Truth Reveal. This session is titled, Home is the Kingdom Within, Retreat to the Kingdom Within, and Go Forth in Home. So I am your co-host, Celeste, and I give a shout out to our chat host, Giraffe Heart. We have the Lion as their founder and co-host. And we also have Shimmering Lights, I believe. Is she on the board already?
Yes, she is.
Excellent. Well, we're all here.
Welcome, Lion here.
Hello, everybody. I'm here again, too. How's everybody doing?
Wonderful.
Yes. It's been a lovely, lovely time here.
We have live open call-in for anyone and everyone that would like. You must have the Podbean app on your smartphone and have a free account, and then you're able to engage either in chat or by calling in.
And I feel like it's worth mentioning that we've had a wonderful opportunity of late to help people really take that deep dive within and learn about their eternal soul's name, the original name of your eternal soul, as well as the ability to determine your spirit animal's type so that you could understand your low self, your ego, and why people respond to you the way they do, because they're responding to your spirit animal. So that's been something that we've really enjoyed doing. We've done it as part of a live broadcast in the past, so we always welcome the opportunity for anyone who's ready to go home and take that deep dive to the kingdom within in order to really, begin that ascension. So, yeah.
Yes, very good. Very good. Yes. So we have all found the way home. We would like to share that and give the keys and just share the experience. And anybody on the chat that is able to call in and would like to give their experience that has experienced this also, it's free too. So welcome to call in and let us know the joy. So basically, I learned the way home back in 1986, and over the decades have been putting it together. And we have recent events with Celeste, with Shimmering Light, very recent, and a few others. And basically, we just want to share that experience that is there for everyone, anyone that hears the call, that feels ready. We can give you those keys. You can do it on your own. We just would like to share this wonderful, wonderful gospel, this wonderful news.
Sounds like you mentioned Mr. Fisher had an opportunity to do that very recently as well.
Yes.
Excellent.
Yes. I'll let him call in if he wants to. I won't get into the specifics, but...
No, it's his to share freely.
Yes. So Shimmering Light, I guess what I'm looking for is just to share the experience, like you did last week, obviously, which was the debut for you.
Yeah.
In what's happened in your life now in the last couple of weeks?
Well, I've just gone within more, and it's brought me a lot of clarity and a lot of peace and understanding, and abundance is happening.
Oh, wow.
So I got a job with a really nice bonus, and
wow.
opportunity for advancement, which is, you know, in the profession that I have, I've kind of in the past not really wanted to, you know, for a while not really wanted to do it. So going back was not an easy decision, but it was what I was being led to do. So then when I just went for it, and again, you know, a really great bonus, I'm able to go move up in the company. So maybe I don't have to do this particular position forever. So it's been really great. We've had, I've also been able to, you know, just share my wisdom, I guess, with family and friends that have been struggling and going through things. And we got really good news today. So, as you know, with kids, there's things that, you know, you have to protect children.
Yes.
And they have decided to do that. And it's, you know, it's just wonderful things are happening.
Yes.
And so being able to have gone and connect with my internal soul, and, you know, I'm a yak. So being able to, you know, see how I react to things and how, you know, especially when we're talking about these children and protecting, you know, the small group that is ours, you know, our soul tribe, and doing whatever it takes for them, right?
Amen. Yes.
I've just been able to kind of go within myself and even see
Right.
from others' experiences, you know, and my own, I guess, like just reflect on myself. But everything that happened, like, in being able to help, you know, kind of guide people, and it's all just been just really, really good. And for instance, let me just, my friend has a stepson, and his mom used to not really be in the picture for about 5 years, because she was struggling with her own things. And she recently came back in the picture, and now dad is kind of, you know, struggling with his things. So, but the moms, you know, the stepmom and the birth mom are able to come together, like in this compassionate and open and loving, like something that they never would have seen, you know, 5 years ago, 3 years ago, a year ago. And then help this person, you know, to get out of that. And I could just see the stepmom who I was talking to about all of this, like all of her like her light, and like her Mother Mary energy that just surrounds her. She's, you know, and her meditating and coming into herself, and just like, oh, it's just, Source is just amazing. And just been doing a lot of great things like this last week. So, and then also helping me to find my voice and to use it, you know, without fear.
Congratulations on all of that. Wow. A lot of abundance going on around here.
Yes.
And yeah, it is your wisdom. It is. Just know that. And, you know, I felt you explode. You know, I know you've exploded. I know your husband exploded. And it's just it doesn't take very long anymore. All it takes is that little seed of faith and that will, and that, you know, the passion to find the truth.
Right. And what was beautiful even about the dad in the situation we're talking about, my husband and his father were able to go out and talk to him. And at the time, you know, my husband, I suggested it because he was struggling, like, with the information that we've received. Like, you know, he was disappointed but didn't know how to like really approach it. And my father-in-law is a really wonderful man that everybody really looks up to. So I thought, you know, if you guys go together and show up in love together, you know, and there were things that happened, and my husband kept his cool and just was, you know, could see that he was hurt, and just showed up in love for him. And he didn't really know how it went, but I knew that he needed to do it because he would feel better, you know, instead of just, you know, not letting it, or not saying anything and just kind of letting it slide, you know. And then within 24 hours after that conversation with him, who was like the dad who was very unreceptive to anything at that point, he started to kind of wake up.
Wow.
And kind of see himself, and he's going to go to therapy and things that, you know,
Wow.
we would never, like never in a million years think that he would do that for himself, you know. But I think that my husband being there and like how level-headed and caring and loving he is, and just showing him a different way, really helped him, you know.
Yes.
And
Key
also
word.
staying in his truth, right? And staying in like what he believes in, and like holding true to that no matter, you know, but still very compassionate about it. So it's been really great.
And key words are see self.
Yeah.
See self. When you can get somebody to see their self, or just when anybody starts to see themselves, period. That's amazing. That's awesome. Great job.
Then we can also take lessons from them, you know.
Yes.
Because there might be, you just want to reflect and say, how am I wearing that mask in anywhere in my life, you know?
Yes.
So I can
So
remove
good.
that and, you know, become more present and become more authentic, you know. So it's been really good.
Okay, so yeah, so do you feel that you're speaking from your soul more now?
Yes, and I'm feeling very protected in it.
Yes,
because
and
I don't do that much. Like usually somebody might say something that I'm like, you know, but I don't. I usually wouldn't say anything because I don't want, you know, to rock the boat in any way, or be misunderstood, I guess. And
yes, that's where wisdom.
Yeah, misunderstood is a whole, you know, it's a big thing for me, or was. But I feel much more protected in, you know, opening my throat and saying what my truth is. Just, you know, and again, it doesn't have to be harsh, you know, it can always be done in love. But I do find that sometimes for, you know, people, when you present them with the truth, it's not easy to unwrap that either. So
Right. Yes.
compassion
Yes.
is kind of, and that's like we talk about, like planting the seeds. You just plant it, right? And hopefully, you know, on their own later, or, you know, whenever they can start to see something, like understand, you know,
God's will is always done.
So, and we can't really force people to move, you know, in any kind of way. We can just, you know, again, give them love, give them the love, and again, the truth and what you see, or what you know, because sometimes people don't even, you know, they can't see that love in themselves.
Shimmering light. I'm curious if for you that maybe there was times where you didn't trust your intuition. Is that different now?
Yes. Yep. I couldn't even discern between, because I have a very active mind. I can discern between my heart, my mind, or my intuition. So it was almost like my mind was on overdrive and taking over everything else. Right. So, and quieting the mind is still something that I'm, you know, but I know that I've learned that because I've always had like really, my stomach gets really uneasy.
Mm-hmm.
And so I didn't realize what that was.
Oh, you're sensitive.
Yes. I'm very like, but I didn't realize,
Yes.
oh, this is, why I'm getting these butterflies or this, anxious feeling, or like something's telling me something, but I would ignore it, and then I let my mind play the game.
Mm-hmm.
But once I actually started meditating was when I actually felt my heart open up, and then getting to the root of it, like my intuition, that took more. But
Yeah.
I am starting to really pay attention to those cues, and when that happens, things like really flow.
Or like sharing this piece about the gut and that term, a gut feeling, because a lot of people don't know this, that as the fetus is developing, the brainstem and the digestive tract split, and the same cells are populated in, the rest from the brain stem growth all the way up to the brain, and the rest of the brain's development and the digestive system. It's all brain cells.
Wow.
Yeah, and that's why we have that term, a gut feeling. So yeah, it's so cool that you're trusting it, right? Because you're right. You're the truth now. You know the truth now, and you can trust your intuition.
Right. I
I
mean,
think
and
that's so
with
beautiful.
all of us. All of us have that truth,
Yes, and just real quick, something though that we call divine dichotomy is that there is the ultimate truth, but then truth is relative, right?
Mm.
People have their own idea of a truth, which is actually part of the whole truth.
Right. Whatever
It's a
true for
divine,
you, right?
divine dichotomy, but then there is only one meaning of life. There's only one main truth and that is God, and that is the eternal soul. And then so we're joined by Mr. Fisher.
Good evening. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Hey,
Yes.
awesome.
Yeah, very, very happy to be here. I was super excited.
Yes, I'm glad you're here too. Thank you.
Outstanding. Yes. Well, welcome.
Thank you. Yeah, it's been kind of a journey. I started meditating when I was having some issues of my own, just trying to kind of find some groundation, something solid. And with my wife, we've kind of explored and talked about each of our journeys as we've gone through it. And she's gone further than I have, which is awesome. And I'm excited to catch up to her. And she introduced me to the lion, and that was a very, very mind-blowing experience.
Mm-hmm.
He helped me to really open all the way up. I've never felt like that before. When we were done, my whole body was vibrating. I mean, it felt like I was on a machine, literally. It was unbelievable.
All of our bodies were vibrating.
All of them. All of them. Yes.
Yeah.
And remember, don't measure yourself as far as like somebody being further than you. You have different gifts.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Trust your different gifts. She's going to be feeling more and you're going to be seeing more. But when you went and talked to the friend, you did pretty darn good, I'll bet you.
Oh yeah. That was and part of why I wanted to start meditating also is fear was a big thing in my life. And I don't know why. It's always been in the back of my mind, afraid of failure, afraid to say something that's gonna not be taken the right way, or hurt someone's feelings. And my journey so far has really, really helped to release me from that fear and to kind of navigate it better so that I can be open and honest. And it's a really great feeling. And that's really what pushed me to go and talk to my cousin. I just wanted to share with him how I felt and let him know that I'm not judging him, that I just want him to open up kind of the same way I have, and to feel that, to, experience. So
We'll get him.
And that and that's what I want. What I'm looking for is the experience of like you just said, how profound. And just real quick, I'm just going to kind of go through what this is all about. Mm-hmm. So this is about Christ's truth. So we're all Jesus joint heirs. And what we're talking about here is the way home. We have all gone home now. So I guess I'll just say that we can say that we are Christians. We are true Christians because we have joined in Christ to the kingdom within. And this is what we're talking about. Just recently, we've done this with a few people, actually, but this is what is being talked about. The experience from moving your mountain from that place of some fear, like you were saying, to now consciousness of truth, of what you really are. And the way to do that, one way to do that, is by a meditation, by going through a specific meditation. It only takes a few minutes, and it can change everybody's life, anybody's life, and you'll see it changing everybody around you. Mm-hmm. Some people will get a little bit defensive because they don't really like the light shining on them, but when you get the opportunity to share what that is, it's a game changer.
Truly.
And we believe that everybody can do this, that everybody can find home, which is heaven within yourself, like we're talking about. And that's what this is about now. That's what this new season is to...
And it's like remembering home.
Right? Exactly. Yes. Thank you. Yes. It's like when you get there, you go, wow, I know this place. I know this. This is where I've always been. And because our eternal soul is always there.
I love that, that the way you met your cousin with just truth, but, just the compassion I can tell was included in that, just the way that you were really trying to freely give something that had very recently been freely given to you. And I feel like that's what he heard, and that's why the response was the way it was. And, that's more will be revealed, but in that moment, it probably was perfect. It probably really felt that peace that transcends all understanding.
Yes.
Whereas maybe before
you
would have been so anxious to even approach that, and yes, the wisdom that you included a fatherly figure to join them, right? That's, you knew that was the play, right? Without having a playbook,
right?
Right? Because we're already now we're all just stepping into the future that was already every step was already perfectly ordered for us. So we're just catching up to our future. Yeah. And it's so cool when you're in that moment and just knowing that you can, without, wanting to influence a person one way or another, right? You still are able to just speak that truth. So, yeah.
Yeah, and it's funny because, like, you said peace, that sense of peace, and when my father and I were driving home, I felt so much better. Just clean. Like I, exactly spoke my truth and just kind of just wanted to be compassionate and let him know how much I loved him, and that it was super important for him to actually kind of hear this, with his heart. And it was an overwhelming sense of peace.
Well, and it's funny that Celeste says that, because I prayed for that with, his wife, peace with
Perfect
past all
provision.
understanding. Right? That's exactly, when you said that, it was like, whoa, because that is exactly what the prayer was. And then, my husband took it with him, and
yes.
Well, and it was received with this individual to the point where they're willing to look within. They're starting that journey by agreeing to therapy.
Yes.
And for some cultures, that's just such a
hard,
major shift, right? Just not culturally acceptable. We don't do that in this family.
Yes.
We don't air. There's all these fears that are now kind of crumbling because you're kind of scaffolding for them, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
Yes. And I just like to ask.
I'm just hearing the story for the first time, and I'm like, totally vibing. Like my hair, Holy Spirit is just like completely filling the room right now.
Yeah, my chest is just boo. Okay, so let me ask both of you, Shimmering Light and Mr. Fisher. How many times when you were talking did you say, wow, where did that come from? Or something like that?
That was probably like the whole conversation.
Shimmering Light, you just took the words out of my mouth. Like, honestly, I mean, my dad and I talked a little bit about what we wanted to talk about when we went up there, but I without really even having to think about what I was saying, the words just kind of came out. And it was really fluent, and I didn't have like, he can be a little defensive occasionally, and it's funny. But I mean, there was no frustration. It was just wanting him to hear and just trying to speak those words and let him go. And it was powerful. It was amazing.
Yeah, he's generally like not the easiest person. Like, usually my husband's just like, okay, because they're family, so they've been around each other their whole lives, and it's like, I can see him like, just like, okay, like, and like, kind of like, okay, I'm just gonna leave it alone, right?
Yeah, I'm over
but
it.
He just went in there and like just stood again, just sit in his truth. And I mean, he had to have felt that. Like, he had to have.
So I think what's funny, I think a common term people often use in those types of circumstances, right, is where I'm gonna hold this space for you, right? But I think what we've learned is that we're holding the space in eternity for them, right? That they don't understand that concept yet, right? This conversation was ordered. It was something that was always going to happen. Just catching up to the future.
Yes,
so
that's
beautiful.
The point. Yeah, that's the point to really pound in, because as we keep saying, to God, when everything was created, everything was finished, because it's Alpha and Omega now. So everything that we're going to do, everything that we have done, every life, every experience we've ever done is already done to God.
Right.
So we are here, like Celeste was saying, we are here catching up to the future of us being oneness with God, the experience of that. And the way that experience is by following what Jesus did in his ascension, is in his rapture. It's first of all going within to the kingdom. It's going through Christ. It's realizing that Christ is within you. It's becoming one with your eternal soul. And the best way to do that is to do it through a meditation, through just going within, through finding your soul, giving your life to your soul. Getting its name is very important, because doesn't that make it real?
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So basically what we're doing is we're calling people home. We're calling you home. If you've been sitting in a pew somewhere, if you've been looking through spiritual books or any form of motivation for the meaning of life and what it means to you, that's what we offer here and now. That's what we're talking about. We're talking about calling everyone home and showing you how to do it. And it's not about building anything. We do not accept gifts. This is not a gift thing. It's not to build a ministry or a following or anything like that. It's just to help people realize themselves and go forth. Join if you want, but go forth. As Shimmering Light was saying, she's all sharing it with her family now, and her husband is doing it too, from, and it was a different situation, but also doing it too. And the words come. The calling is now. Go
Christ
ahead.
will use you. I mean, he can use all of us, right? But
yes,
because like you said, it's all preordained. So he knows why he put all of us together, and why you meet certain people, or, whatever it is that
yes,
we were going to help each other return home.
Yep. And
Yeah.
Because
No coincidences with God, right?
No.
synchronicity.
Yeah.
Synchronicity. But thank you for sharing those stories, and just feel the passion in this testimony here. Just feel the passion, the life-changing experience. What I felt from you, Chad, during that meditation, when you were saying, wow, I could feel that, every bit of it, and when Shimmering Light got to that point of getting the name, just boom, it was just boom.
Mm-hmm.
And it was so amazing.
It truly was. I mean, I am so grateful and so appreciative for you to help me with that. And I heard a little bit of Shimmering Light speaking before I called in, and she was just talking about abundance in the last week. And I've noticed a lot of the same, and feeling just an amazing feeling of lightness, like just truly feeling light on my feet, light in my soul. And I haven't felt this way for a long time, like since I was a kid and just played and, didn't really care about the troubles of the world. So
It's beautiful.
To have that feeling back, and to be sitting in it, and to not have it be a fleeting feeling, it's wonderful. It's awesome.
Yes. And real quick, Giraffe Heart in the chat was like doing comments, and it was going right along with what was being said right after. Pretty cool.
Yeah.
So we're all vibing, that's for sure. And we have quite a few people on the board. Anybody on the board, if you want to call in and just ask what we're talking about or share what you think, anything, feel free. And
or if you want to return home right now, and
yes,
do it with all of us here.
Yes, exactly. Yes. A few weeks ago, somebody came on here and did that. And we do have an email set up for anybody that's interested to inquire, to ask questions, anything. It's ChristTruthReveal@gmail.com. So an easy way to make contact. And anybody interested, it can be done privately, and anonymously. And also on the board, you will, with the Podbean app, you will get pop-ups that ask for gifts or to follow. Following us is fine. That's fine. But gifts we do not accept. We give this freely. This is something that is created by God, for God, of God, for God's pleasure, for our pleasure, for us to feed and to share. What are we talking about? So we've been doing this show for a year and a half or so, and originally called Christ Truth Reveal, the Unleavened Bible and the Meaning of Life. And so season 1 was all about that. The Unleavened Bible is what is talked about in the revelation in the Bible of the little book being open. Now, this is not for, we're not speaking just to religious people or people in religions. We're speaking to people that are spirituality of any kind, people that don't even realize spirituality, anyone. But I will say that pretty much all religions have lost the word. It's been lost to non-effect by tradition. It's been focused on other than God and what we really are with God. And so that's what we are here to expose, to reveal, is the truth about who you are, who every one of us is. We're all equal to the man Jesus. And I'll say to the man Buddha, the wisdom of Buddha. Don't discount the wisdom of Buddha, the razor's edge, the place where we have gone, the place where you go in this meditation to your eternal soul and join your eternal soul, is where the razor's edge is. It's where the extremes end and pure love begins. And that is what shimmering light is expressing, and that's what Celeste expresses, and that's what Chad is expressing, and that's what Giraffe Heart is expressing. We know the feeling. We know the feeling. But it's not to die to go to heaven. It's not to give your life in the name of a man. It's to give your life in Christ consciousness and to do the things that Jesus did and greater as he promised that we would do. Believe on the things Jesus did and the things that he did, and we will do those things and greater. It's a personal thing. It's a personal thing. And I'll turn it over now.
Well, I think, just with the example of helping someone make a decision to go into therapy and to start looking within, that's very life-giving. That's a way of helping someone be reborn.
Yes, that's huge. That is actually the start of
it really
reborn.
is. It's the start of a rebirth. And
yes.
That's doing greater than Christ, right? I mean, we're raising people from the dead, literally. This person may have, right?
Woo!
Yeah.
We are. I mean, I'm not just making stuff up here. I'm
no.
Here.
This is why it's so important for us to be willing to freely give what's been freely given to us.
Yes.
And for people to call in and take an opportunity to say, wow, the next life I save might not only be mine, right?
Right.
Exactly.
And we all want to, we can have the power to bring everybody with us. You know.
Amen.
Yeah.
Yes. And I'm bought into that, man. I have paid all the way into that shimmering light. I'm in, man. I'm in.
It's
there's
free
gonna
will,
be
but
there's gonna
we
be
can. I believe everybody can make that decision. Everybody can get there.
Yeah.
And then, if you know the extent of, the hand of God, then absolutely.
Some people are gonna still be they may come kicking and screaming, right? It's like,
Right.
right? You get drugged
I think we all
get drugged to
probably
meetings.
had to kick and scream a little bit in order to receive what we've received,
Yes.
because that's how God uses people, you know, like
That's
if
how
I
the
need
lamp
I
oil
need
is
the
rendered.
soldiers. Yeah.
Yes. And Celeste says that because of a term that we use is you either go along gracefully or you go along kicking and screaming. And then of course anywhere in between.
Well, and your daughter had said to me years ago, like, you know, we'd always ask, you know, let me learn, help me learn, you know, teach me. And it was like, but please let it not be the hard way. Because I've had a lot of that.
Yeah,
I'm ready to learn, but let's do this smoothly this time, you know. And it's all in what you want to pay attention to, because the signs are there, you know. It's just if you're tapped into it, and tapping into your eternal soul will help you take the next step and make, you know, right decision, or for yourself, you know, just for yourself, or however, whatever work you've been given to do, you know. So
and then, you know, like you say, I mean, boy, life was hard that woke me up, you know. And then ever since then it's not necessarily changed other than the attitude toward it, you know, of it being perfect and being grateful. You know, from our perspective, perfectly imperfect, you know, at times. But, you know, it's like you said last week, you know, that you wouldn't change a thing, you know, in your life.
And like meeting your eternal soul, you feel whole.
Yes.
Like you come in to yourself. Like, so you feel whole. And I mean, the love that I have for me, that's huge. That's a huge thing. But the love that I have for me is even more so, like, you know, you just, like during the meditation, the lion has like, you know, you can hug yourself, and I just do that because I want to share my gratitude, and it's just wonderful to have connected and to be one, you know, one whole.
And isn't that the greatest hug ever, when you realize your whole self and you're hugging your whole self? Yes. Oh, you're just loving it. Oh, thank you, God.
My daughter looked at me like, what are you doing? It's okay, try it. I tried to tell my son the other day. But
yes. And as Giraffe Heart is saying in the chat, Celeste said save, I believe. But, you know, I think that was appropriate. I think using the word save is appropriate because that's the Christian speak, you know. That's religion speak, to save. Now, we don't really see it as saving. We just see it as helping people home, because we know that there's nobody lost, really.
Well, they save themselves, but you can still plant the seed to help them, you know, or come, you know, guide them on the meditation and help them to really just get into oneness.
Yep. But like, let me ask Chad. Chad, do you feel like your life is kind of saved since then?
Yeah, I do.
From fear and stuff like that, you know?
Absolutely. It was an overwhelming sense. I mean, almost paralyzing, and it held me back in a lot of respects. And the journey that I've been on took me a little ways, but really, it was so mind blowing to experience the wholeness that I was talking about. You know, to actually feel that. It was amazing. So
yes, absolutely. Yes. And then the benefit for me, kind of like what Shimmering Light and I were talking about last week, was, you know, about we want everybody to do this. And then I got selfish and thought, well, wow, if I could do the meditation with every human being, you imagine the gift that I would receive. because I feel it when people are doing it. I feel you when you come home, when you whole eye, when you become that oneness. I get that experience. And everybody gets that experience, but I get to feel it because I'm focused on it. And it's amazing. So I get to do it over and over and over and over. And so will you. So will all of you. And everybody can do it.
Well, when we did it with Chad's a seer, and then we're feelers, but it helped me to start, like, because I couldn't see. That's just not a strong gift for me.
Same with me.
Yet.
Yeah.
Well,
same with me.
But then Chad, when we were connecting, I could start to see like little flashes, So I think too, when you're able to connect with everybody, that we have a chance to share, like make each other's like weaknesses stronger, So
Yes.
like as far as gifts, because I believe that we all have access to all those things. We just have to kind of tap into it.
Yep. And it's really easy to tap into when you know the way. when you realize it is attainable, and it's not like some stepchild thing finding a foster parent or whatever. It's ours by divine right. It is ours. It's everybody, every soul, everyone, everything that is alive has soul. And it's beyond the physical, though. Beyond the physical.
And Giraffe Heart was asking, what would we want to be saved from when we use the term saved? And I think for me, it's, ego. Because when you live in your mind, it's really ego driven, instead of
excellent,
driven from my highest self and from my highest good, right?
Exactly.
Because then you can sit there and battle your thoughts all day, and still make the wrong, decision that's like, not that you won't be okay, but again, the easy way or the hard way.
Yes. And when you realize which one is making the choice, or the one the ego is trying to, and you are saved from that because you now know the difference. Yeah, I mean, personally, I love the word saved. I think it fits. That. I know that the word can cringe people, because it's associated with saving people from hell. You're going to live in hell for eternity, but that's not true. There is no eternal hell.
I love that you said that. Yes. Let's not do that to each other.
No, there is no
and when
hell.
you do go in, like, you are one with yourself, that. You have to know point. That there's no way the person who created this soul, there's no way, that, I don't know, like that they could give up on you, because I believe like if you even don't get it right this time, you'll probably get another try, in another life or whatever, until you do. I just feel like there's no damnation,
exactly. Other than not being in love when when that's all there is.
Unless you do it to yourself, right? And you want to be stuck
creating the separation all by yourself. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. It's a dark place to be in, for sure. But
right.
I love what you mentioned about just the lightness of, when you feel the love of everything that ever is, was, and ever will be all at once, and it just hits you and you're godsmacked by it. You just know in that instant that there's only goodness, there's only love. That's forever. That's for eternity.
Yeah, absolutely.
We don't give up on anyone. We believe in everyone. We do. We all truly do. And just real quick, shimmering light with your visual stuff, I gave up on that. The only thing I do, what I because I love the sensitive thing. I love it. It's so amazing. It'd be cool to see, and it'd be cool to be a clairvoyant. That would be wonderful
It'd be
too.
wonderful, yeah.
But I don't get to see that way unless I do. Sometimes
Right.
I do see things, but I quit trying to see like a seer. Now I can see things in a transparent way. When I'm in the place with my eternal soul, I can see that there's gold shimmering out of my being, and I can see the whiteness, but it's transparent. It's not like
Well,
I'm
and like you
in
told me,
it.
you have to feel, like I started doing that a lot more. It's like feeling that sensation, right? So,
Yes.
but like I could start see flashes or something,
Yes,
like when we were talking about
yes.
colors or something, which that really doesn't, unless I'm like just going to sleep, then I will see like flashes all the time of light. But if you're asking me to visualize anything, I don't care how familiar I am with it. I will not be able to see it in my mind usually.
Right.
I am, from what you explained, like just feel it. So I'm starting to do that more too. And I mean, that helps with my intuition, right? Because that's just the strong part of me.
See, I did get a gift that when I go into meditation and I do it, like if I'm always in meditation. I'm always in theta. I'm always walking in Christ. I believe that. I know that. Going into meditation, I get a gift. I get to see green and purple. It just flows. It flows around. It'll get like a circle in the middle. It'll come and like explode. Like green will explode into purple. And that I see really clearly. Don't be surprised if you start to see something like that as you meditate. It's pretty amazing.
I was kind of noodling earlier on the subtitle, and I thought too late to get it up, but I was thinking about that idea of a deep dive to ascend. And I think the confusion for many Christians is that when they think of a deep dive, they think of baptism.
Yeah.
And, it is, I think baptism is an amazing rite of passage, if you want to call it that, right?
Yes.
It's a lot of tradition. And, for many people, the tradition is what causes their faith to become of non-effect. But if we look at the deep dive as meditation, I think now we're onto something.
Yes, and the Bible talks about it. Yes.
Go ahead.
Just saying, the Bible talks about it. David talks about meditation day and night. Jesus says the kingdom is within. Meditation is the way. Yes.
There could be some truth, and I don't know physiologically if there's any evidence to support how, when you're doing the act of baptism, if you actually go into theta consciousness. But I would have to think that would be a correlation.
Some people don't baptize. They like where I was baptized, they just sprinkle water basically on your head. But in all truth, like it is and again, believe what you want and do, how your soul sees fit. But we are all baptized when we come out of our mother's womb. So,
wow,
there's no need.
Wow.
Another baptism because you were baptized.
That's a full immersion baptism right there.
It absolutely is. So. Yeah.
That you just Beautiful. Hit it. You just hit it because that goes with predestined, that we all have a planned life. So how can we not have been baptized when we were born? Mm-hmm. Beautiful. That's beautiful because, like Giraffe Heart said, she was raised Catholic, and so it was like drops on her forehead.
Yeah, I'm Episcopalian, so it's the same. Yeah. The same thing.
No deep dive.
No.
Yeah, that's awesome. Okay, so there you go. Wow. But I do have to say that when I did the water baptism, because I was having a supernatural experience, I went to theta. I didn't know what it was then, but
exactly.
I know that I went to theta.
Exactly.
You know?
So do I. I just, we don't have any evidence-based research to show that that's what happens when you're in a baptismal pool. But I would have to assume that that's,
water has
part
a
of
lot
that
of life
process.
in it. Yeah.
Yeah, it was just another act, of joining with God,
Mm-hmm.
and feeling that supernatural experience and then being submersed in that. But that's also the thing we talk about bringing our body along.
Mm-hmm.
For people walking around right now. Okay, so like Chad was talking about, he did the meditation, right? Changed his life, but now you got to bring the body along. And like you're saying too, Shimmering Light, about knowing when it's ego and when it's your soul. You've got to bring your body along. And so for me, getting baptized, my body was on board, so just from my experience, but I don't say people have to do that or anything like that.
No.
The baptism is when you meet your eternal soul. It bathes you in the water of God.
And you can do that,
Perfect energy.
any life water that there is for yourself, right? Because I believe that there is probably a very deep peace to be in, the earth's water and come out feeling new, because that's, we live in Washington State, so it rains here quite a bit, but it also makes everything clean and new all the time, right? So
yes,
there probably is a lot of power and feeling one with nature and all of us in that. So I can see that for sure. And I mean, I'm a water person. There's nothing more than I would love than to float on my back and, in the water and just be, in my next life, I just want to be a rock in a river and just feel it flow all the time, so.
Yeah.
Yesterday I had a sea otter within probably less than 30 feet from me when I was out in the water. Yeah, it's amazing.
Celeste is a surfer regularly, and so he gets to be in the water, floating in the water a lot.
That is a good spot to be. That is a wonderful spot.
Yes. Yeah. Oh,
great.
The act of surfing is meditation. That's a meditation.
I want to learn to surf so badly. That is amazing.
We got your back.
Well, my husband Chad is a river otter, so
so cool.
Can't help with that playful nature.
Yeah, so cool.
Yep. I love the water myself. Yes.
And this is good fun with friends.
Yeah, there we go, chiming in. Say amen. Amen. What's wonders ahead? The wonders ahead. Yeah, and just real quick, and you're talking about the issue that you had with family and stuff like that. I too have that going on, and it's really, really tough. And it's totally a test of faith. But I have to do some really hard stuff. And I'm going to do it with love, and I'm always going to do it with love. But as Shimmering Light said, it's about the children, right? It's about those children. When it's in your lap and you have the opportunity, you got to do it. You have to do it. I will give my life.
Well, they're just, exactly. There's nothing I wouldn't do. And then they're so important to this world, right? Like, we're all supposed to have that innocence still. Like, we weren't supposed to lose that. That was the innocence and the joy that they bring to life, man. And for them to hold on to that as long as they possibly can, not having to live in fear or not, for me, like really them feeling loved at all times and know that they're wanted and needed. And I don't know. I just want them to have a good fighting chance,
Yes.
in this life.
Yes, I mean, I do know. I mean, I did it once myself, and now I'm doing it on the top end, and that's what it's about. It's the world is tough in that way, but you got to take on the fight, and you got to do the fight. You got to do everything you can, but like I say, it's not out of love. It's not against anything or against anyone. It's for a child to be free.
So children can be children. Yeah.
Well, and to teach them, to give them the knowledge and the tools to be able to keep that childlike innocence and the playfulness and the weight of the world off their shoulders. That's, I think, that's a really important job for us, is to give them those tools and to help them understand that it's really important to nurture that and make it a huge part of your life. Everything just becomes a whole lot, and when you can, release and feel that love and the light, it makes everything so much better, and you can focus your energy. You can do a whole lot of things a whole lot better when you're in that place.
Amen. Oh, thank you.
But we always want children to like rush and grow up, or they feel like they have to, because they have to, take care of people that they shouldn't have to take care of, and or have that responsibility. Or I just want everybody, especially children, but I do want everybody. I want them to know that they were made to give love and to receive love, and there's no more than that. There's no less than that.
Yes. Yes.
And it just is very painful for any child to be in fear, and especially of the people that are supposed to protect them.
Yes. Yes.
So
and then when the people that are supposed to protect them have other ideas in mind. But again, I guess I don't want to get into details like that. Just that we even though we have gone home and we are what I will say is Christed, we still have our lives to live. We still have our predestined contracts, if you want to call it that we have to live out. But now we can do it from love, right? And we can trust that our soul is in control, and then whatever we do is exactly what is necessary, and we're not going to do more harm, hopefully,
No.
But you got to do what you got to do, and just
everything you do for the greater good of everyone and harm to none.
Yes.
But we hope that that we can just protect them, and do the best that we can for them.
Yes. Amen.
And we will. And I think that if we, again, send our angels and our love and our light to the situation, that, I just have this faith that it is on both sides. It's gonna work out. I can feel it. And, and it's not, might not be easy, going to therapy is not easy, or going through what you guys are going to get ready to go through will not be easy, but it's going to be worth it. We know that.
Exactly. Yeah. And it's going to be, energized.
Yeah.
Yes.
It already is, so we know, I mean, I think that part of what you're talking about, that was part of the other good news this week, so.
Yes.
Yes, it is very exciting. So.
Yep. moving quickly all of a sudden.
Yep.
Yes. We're open calling. We're always going to be open calling. We're looking for people to call in. We're sharing the good news. We're sharing from experience. It's beyond explanation. We do the best we can. There's really no word for the experience. Thanks everybody for joining for the first episode of our new season.
Giraffe Heart is asking about how about your prayer?
Shimmering Light and hubby, I'm really grateful for you guys joining us. It's been wonderful to hear these fresh, perspectives and just the application of it, with it still being so new to you, is just going to be so, just hopeful for people to hear. So really appreciate you guys continuing to share their stories and speaking from your truth. And, you talked about when that throat chakra clears, how it just becomes easy because you're really speaking words that, only come from your highest self. So it's a beautiful process. Wonderful to witness.
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you for popping in, Chad. For sure.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And
I just
you're
want to
welcome.
express my gratitude. I mean, I am so appreciative and grateful for you sharing the experience and sharing the wisdom. It's awesome. It's just awesome.
And it is really awesome to be able, we did it like a day apart or a couple days apart, to do it together, and then
really cool.
how that
really cool,
is just a great booster for your marriage as well, right? Because we've already we've connected to our eternal souls, and so connecting to each other is just that much greater. And I mean, and me and my husband have been together for 21 years, so
21
beautiful.
We know each other, but this is a whole different ball game. So and it makes it just that much sweeter. So
yeah, for sure. It's gonna just keep just exploding and manifesting, and provision will come always. And you'll still be challenged, but you guys will see the joy in the challenge.
Absolutely. And that's, I think, where a lot of the beauty comes in, is that it's, again, it's the tools. Being shown these tools, and it's an opportunity to make things a little bit easier and a little bit more positive when you go through them.
Yeah,
well, because there's so much truth now, that is able to be communicated easier on both parts, right? And less fear. And we have tools. We have tools.
You guys are wed for eternity, so there's nothing that can happen that would shake that now.
Yeah,
really, because it's just like a rock.
Yeah,
it's beautiful. My wife had a saying about how when our eyes first met, our souls were welded into one.
Oh, yeah.
And I just love that idea. And, in that moment, all these children of ours were created in that moment that our eyes first met, right?
Yeah.
And just so beautiful. I love the vision of that. Because I keep hearing your little ones back there.
Oh, yes. It's
my littlest just turned 24 today, so she's not so little anymore.
Yeah. Well, we wish the 3-year-old though would turn 24, but no, just joking. It's
three going on 24, probably.
That's what it is.
Nowadays.
Oh dear. I'm like, Noah, don't jump on that. And he's like, I do.
Yeah, I do. It's truth, right? Truth, insight, wisdom, and understanding. That's all we can ask for. And a lot of times it comes from their kids.
Yes.
You'll just hear it.
True story.
Well, the first one was really great. Like, she was so perfect. I can't even, Like she makes you think like, oh, we're doing a really good job over here. And then you get the second one, you're like, oh, it wasn't us, that was her. That was her.
Yeah.
She's
She's
just a great little soul.
that soul, yeah.
And then this other one's like,
A live wire, yeah.
I don't know what we're gonna do with him. But he's lucky he's cute.
Teach him to meditate. That'll
Well,
be the key.
yes.
He's lucky he's cute.
Yeah.
I got that.
The boys, I really wanted a boy, and then,
Careful what you ask for.
yeah, he's here
You
with all
might
this
get
energy. Doesn't want to do anything. It's just completely disagreeable all day. The 3.5.
Well, but you've got a few more years before he turns 14, so you'll be able to train him up. You'll be able to train him up. Don't worry.
That's what I hear.
They never depart it once they've trained that way. So.
I usually hear that around 40 is when it all really kicks in.
Yeah, actually,
It's happening a lot faster nowadays, right? Because people look at how fast you guys came along, right? I mean, this is you've been on the journey the whole time, but
in my day, 40 was kind of big, but these days it's 2.
Yeah.
Yep.
Just look at the graphic for this show. You can see the wisdom, insight, and understanding of a 2-year-old.
Yeah, exactly.
It's the best picture ever.
It is.
Yes, perfect. I can end if everybody's ready.
Amen.
Yep.
My prayer that is rewritten, I mean, it goes off of kind of the 23rd Psalm. It's written in just to kind of show a different interpretation. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. Disregard any gift requests. We do not accept gifts. We give this freely because we love this. It empowers us. It takes us higher and higher. So thank you, everyone. Thank you for joining, and for anybody that listens later on to the published podcast. A prayer. God's law is our eternal life. We shall understand everything. God, you baptize me with love energy through Christ consciousness. You lead me in pure love. You restore my soul to oneness and lead me in the path of right use. Yes, we flow in eternal life. I am courageous, for I know you are me. All things work together for our right use. You evolve our soul through experience of duality and bring us to full awareness. Surely wonder and grace will lead us for eternity, and we shall dwell in the light of our life forever. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Lion.
Good
night, Shimmering Heart.
Good night. Nice to talk to you. I'm glad everything went well.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Thank you so much for joining us and for being a part of this now. And Chad, you're welcome anytime.
Every time.
All time. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Sure.
Thank you for letting me be a part tonight.
Hey, no, come. Let's grow. We're always growing. It's for eternity. I'm vibrating like crazy right now.
Yeah.
I love you, Giraffe Heart. Thank you, too.
Thank you, Giraffe Heart.
On task and bringing things up that we need to kind of touch on again. So.
Yes, let's grow together now. Let's grow together. Let's do it publicly so people can experience this and do it themselves.
Okay, y'all. Be blessed. Talk to you next
night,
week.
everyone. Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Thanks, Chad.
Have a great
Thank
week.
you, Celeste. Have a good night.
You too. You have good, and keep us posted.
Of course.
Okay. All right. Good night,
Bye,
everyone.
guys.
Good night.